Hello everybody, this is Daniel, and I'm happy to be here tonight on the Picket Studios community page. I have lots of things sticking out here, but let's get these moved out of the way and we can get started with our fun little project tonight. How many of y'all like to shake and bake? Do you like to make shaker cards? Well, we have a wonderful little project tonight using some products from Picket Studios, of course, and some Copic markers. There they are. I do have autofocus on. There we go. Just 5 Copic markers is all I need. I'm going to use RV69, RV66, RV63, W9, and W7. I may not even use W7, but we'll see. Hello everybody. I'm so happy that you are joining me tonight. I'm going to pull up this program on my browser so I can see the conversation. Let's see. There we go. I thought I had it on the screen already, but apparently I did not.
Hello, everybody.
Listen to me. I gotta turn my volume off.
Screen already, but
all right, now I can see everyone's conversation. Very good. Okay. Hello. Now we're also going to use, aside from Copics, we're going to use this wonderful cover plate die called "You Make This World Better." Look at those little flowers. Now I'm going to turn these into pink black-eyed Susans. I have a little flower growing right outside my studio here that's called a black-eyed Susan, and it comes in 2 colors, yellow and white. But these flowers look exactly like them, and this die puts out this little center, cuts out this little center hole in the flower, and when you darken that up to like a dark warm gray, looks just like that. And instead of green leaves, I'm going to keep the palette simple and make them dark gray or warm gray. Then we're going to use a panel of acetate from Hero Arts, a panel of their, is that plum cardstock, I believe, and then some white cardstock as well. So put your seatbelts on after you grab a coffee. And while you guys get seated and get situated, I'm going to do some die cutting. How does that sound? Does that sound okay? So for now, I'm just going to grab my trimmer. Hi, Michelle. Hello, Holly. Dee Deanne is here. She is my admin over at Dell and Artie Community, which is my designer community. Everyone goes over there. That's an Artie if you're an Artie with Dell and Artie. That's my community, and she's the admin over there in our group. Hello Karen. Hi Siomada, I'm so happy you're here. And you guys feel free to share well, I don't think you can share this outside of here. My son just walked in. I'm live, Bubby, so I don't know what you need, but the charger, come on in and get it. My son's going to get the charger from my laptop. Okay. I may need one more panel of this. I think I've got one right here. That'll work just fine. Those look like different shades of white. Hello. Well, Karen is over there in the comments, and she will take care of questions probably. She's really good at that. She is the fabulous social media coordinator at Picket Fence. I don't know what all her titles are, but she's basically on top of things. How about that? She is on top of things. Now look at this cover plate die. it does two things at once. It does double time. And it looks like I know I'm definitely going to need more than these panels of white cardstock. I designed this card a month and a half ago, and I have to remember how I did it. But I'm going to cut this panel out about 4 times, 3 times, and we'll stack them first. So let's get busy cutting them out. It's okay if you cut this out of an A2 size card. It's perfectly fine if you do that. It will definitely have a bit of overhang, but almost none. So if you line it up exactly, you're not going to get that overhang. Then you're going to need to grab some tape and just to keep that in place so it doesn't move, just fold it over like that and run it through your die cutting machine. And of course, what would a session with me on a live be like if I wasn't looking for things? So apparently I need my die cutting plates. They have not disappeared. They have only just moved out of their normal place. So I like to use my cover plate to cut, or my plates to cut like on the end there. Put that right there on the end. And then I'll switch it up. So what is everyone up to? Hi, Michelle. Yeah, mine are sometimes train wrecks. Definitely. What is everyone up to today? I have just been enjoying the week. I'm feeling so much better after a good while of not feeling good at all. Look, the centerpiece, you keep it because I'm going to use that to do my die cutting for the words. All right, so just keep those, and we'll put that aside and pop those out in just a minute. And here we go. Grab our tape and reuse it if you can. So line them up just perfectly so that all of the edges are covered. They will get right up to the edge of your A2 size panel, right up to the edge, which I love, since we're not wasting any steel and we're not wasting any cardstock. All right, let's put that there. And my plate, top plate there. Run that through. So this is number 2 die cut. Did you guys have dinner already? I did. That's nice, Dee. Hi, Leisha and Marie. Hello. My wife made fettuccine Alfredo from scratch, of course. Tried out a recipe from Milk Street, and it was delicious. And I weighed out a portion just for me to stay in my calorie count. I'm back on my calorie counting because I just was letting things go. So we had fettuccine Alfredo, and I had some, why do I always talk about food? And I had a skirt steak, 5-ounce steak, and some fresh green beans. And it was delicious. Oh, and on top of that, my wife made a fantastic chimichurri sauce, which is just amazing. If you've never had it, You are missing out. You've got to have it. So, chimichurri sauce was so good. It's like a Argentinian pesto. It's so good. Right, Leishan? What did I have for lunch? For lunch, I had Italian peppers, like the fresh little sweet ones, with this little fresh bit of Neuchâtel cheese, and I should be making all of you hungry. It's my plan. What else? I had, I've just been watching everything I put in my mouth and counting all the calories. I allot myself a certain amount every day. I'm using my new map. Alright, so I think we're done die cutting this. Let's just pop these out. And this is just a relaxing thing. It's, you know, for me, it's just a lot of relaxation. Just to die cut, and it's like fussy cutting is also very relaxing. You just sit and chat with your friends on video as they talk as well. What else did I have for lunch today? I had grapes, and I had Swiss cheese pieces and some pistachios, and I had, what else? Let me get my pokey tool. And, ooh, I had a lot of things for food today. I don't know why I can't remember any of it. I had a banana. And the key to me just shedding some pounds is just actually eating small things through the day and then making sure I don't go way outside of my bounds, you know. Plus increasing my physical activity, which is hard to do. So I was feeling so tired the last couple of weeks, and I'm thinking, I think some of it is probably, it has to do with what I've been putting in my darn mouth. You know what I'm saying? Leishan, I'm killing Leishan. Roxy says slow cooker barbecue beef on potato rolls. Oh man, that sounds amazing. I love doing that. I love it when my wife does it because I don't really cook, but she is amazing in the kitchen. Just absolutely loves to cook and loves to. Now I remember what I ate today. She made these little wonton pizza snacks and used turkey pepperoni with cheese and mushrooms and homemade pizza sauce. And she does all of that stuff, and she's so good at it. So, all right, I'm going to leave the little holes inside the flowers. It's not necessary to pop them all out. You can if you want, if that bothers you. It doesn't bother me, not even a little bit. Well, maybe a little bit. Takes 2 weeks for your tummy to adjust, huh? Yeah. Michelle, are you hungry, my friend? I just had a great time having the grapes with pistachios and a little bit of Swiss cheese. Just so good. Delicious. Those little wonton pizza cups, little snacks, are a Weight Watcher recipe. Now she does Weight Watchers, and so that's why we're working things together, trying to get a hold of our habits a little bit better, or a lot better. Eey. The pokey tool. I like to do this, even if we're doing it live, to make all of you see what it's like and not pull any punches. So when you buy our product, I say Picket Fence product, but I consider myself part of the Picket Fence family. When you buy a Picket Fence product, you're under no impression that this just magically falls apart, and you know what you're getting yourself into. This is a beautiful, beautiful cover plate die, and it takes just a little bit of manual effort to get through it. And if you're like me, you don't mind, because you turn on a podcast, or you listen to something on YouTube, or you stream a TV series that you can watch without paying too much attention. And I actually do a lot of studying this way, so I get a lot of studying done. I'll listen to lectures, university lectures. This way keeps my mind fresh. Oh, Lishan's so hungry right now. She wants some arroz con gandules, right? That Puerto Rican rice is so good with pigeon peas. My wife can make it, and she's from Guatemala, but she learned from a Puerto Rican lady. And man, when she makes that, ain't nobody stopping her. Ain't nobody stopping me either. It's one of my favorite Latin foods, arroz con gandules. Roxy, I have stabbed my finger many times already, just now. I just don't say ow anymore because my fingers no longer complain about it. Okay. Now let's run this through. I only need to do this one time, not 3. So I'm only going to make one of these. And of course, I have no idea what I did with my die cutting plates. There we go. I just pop that on right there. Lydia, yes, there is spicy food in Guatemala, but Guatemalans tend to not be as their food doesn't tend to be as spicy as Mexican food. But yes, my wife does not eat spicy food, but if I go to a Guatemalan house, there's almost always some kind of very hot sauce available for your food. It's just not incorporated automatically in the food like in Mexico. Most Latino countries are not so spicy like Mexican food. I mean, I've been to El Salvador and their food's not spicy, and Honduras and Nicaragua, their food's not spicy. So after you get out of Central America, I don't think it gets spicy at all. Like if you eat Peruvian food and Bolivian food, which I've had all that food because where we live there are so many options, but the food is not spicy at all. You have to add the spice to the food. But in Mexico, the food most of it comes already spicy. The food I've had when I travel to Mexico has a nice level of heat. So here in the Mexican restaurants in the U.S., they kind of tone things down for the American palate. Ooh, I just love poking these out. It's very satisfying. But if you've never had Guatemalan food, they're their food is much different from Mexican food. A lot different. Not near the variety of spices, seasonings, not as much cumin. They do use bay leaf a lot. Okay. Now we're almost there, guys. You ready to see me color in one of these die cuts? Let's see if we can turn off autofocus and come in and focus this manually. That way I can get, let's see. There we go. Oh my goodness, Lydia. Yes, they have some amazing food. One of my favorite foods from El Salvador are pupusas. It's a stuffed tortilla. It's so good. Okay, let's see about fixing the lighting situation here. So I'm going to take just a second to fix this lighting so you can see the coloring better. Let's fix this lighting just a tad. Saturation, gamma. I hope you can see pretty good. I think you should be able to see pretty good. Let's try it out. So I'm going to start by adding the warm gray. I'm going to go with W9 because I really like the contrast against the white. So I'm going to trace the vine and the leaves. All of the leaves and vines are going to get this W9 treatment. So I'm just going to find where they are. And you can see that the leaves go into the little frame here. So I'm just going to take my marker and just kind of figure out where that leaf would go. You see what I did there? I'm going to grab this. Does that help or hinder? Probably doesn't help. All right. Like that. And then I'm going to trace this vine to where I think it might go, right? I think you could still see it around here. You might be able to see it between the flowers, maybe. Some of them, yes, some of them, no. So I will color some of them in, and some of them I'll leave alone. So as I color this in, you're going to see the leaves kind of disappear. But, this is a little bit subjective as well. And it's not as daunting as you might think, as you might suppose. See how I did that? I left that one there, like the vine goes between those two flowers. And then the leaf here is going to get the warm gray treatment. And then I will draw that one in. And basically it's a repeating pattern all the way around. So take that leaf and draw it in there. Like that. How many are glad we moved off the topic of food? Okay. There, I left that vine uncolored and just I'll let the leaves or the blossoms there take that. So as we go, you're going to see the leaves kind of disappear on camera instead of come in, but there we go. Just bring that down there. Pretty simple coloring, right? There's no blending going on here yet. But I am going to do some blending in a minute on the blossoms. So it's really just doing the same thing over and over until you get it done. Shouldn't take long. I've only been doing this for 3 minutes now. So this one I'm going to draw in. And same thing with this leaf. It's kind of cutting into the frame. So we'll draw it in there. Oh, thank you, Lydia. Lydia loves food, so she's like... Lenny was late because she was eating food. Lydia, I love these gray leaves. Oh, now see, before I even knew it, I was finished. See that? Now, as you go, you're going to see you missed some of the little divots that need to be taken out. So let's review them. There's one there. And there's one there. I knew at least two. Was there a third one that I missed? I don't see a third one. All right. I may find another one, but... All right, I'm going to pop this up in front of a piece of white cardstock and turn the autofocus back on real quick. Just so you guys can see what we're doing here. See that? Now you can see it just a little better. That did not help. There we go. There we go. See that? All right. Now, let's go back down. And we'll color this in here. I'm going to start by outlining the outside of this flower with these flowers with an RV 69. I just refilled this marker before we came on. So I know it's got plenty of ink in it. And I'm just actually outlining the outside of the flowers. And some of the flowers cut into the frame as well. So you just want to follow that in onto the frame. I don't know, but this marker seems like it didn't want to. I may need to change the nib, but it's got some of the gunky because I think it dried out. And I think I need to change the nib on it. We'll see. I may even just need to replace the cap on my marker. Because some markers, when you have so many like I do, they tend to loosen up over time. The caps do. And then they dry out. And then they ruin the nibs. So then you're like, might as well just buy a new marker or a new cap. But I think I'll be able to get enough out of this one. It's not optimal, but I did refill it. If you get where I'm at right now, you may want to just change it out for an RV 99. Let's just trade it out. It's okay. This RV 99 is much darker, but it is gonna work fine as well. So let's just add some of this in here on some of these as well. Some of them could be lighter than the others. No worries. You can totally tell the difference on this with this marker here. Denise, I feel you, my friend. For me, it's about picking the right foods and stuffing my face with the right amount of those foods. And if I want something super delicious, just knock down the amount and fill my face with things that, aren't so full of calories. If I want to get full, want that full, filled up feeling, then I may want to, munch on some vegetables. Eat soup too. Oh my goodness, soup is really filling. I'm not a dietitian, but I do play one on YouTube. I forgot to put my face back up there for you guys. Now, as I'm coloring against a white background, I'm missing some of the edges of my flowers, so it may be good to get over on the black background. See how dark that red violet is? This RV99, super dark. But it's nice. I like it. Okay, so I'm just coloring the outside of the petals, and then I'll move to a lighter color and a little more saturated color, which is an RV66. And you see I'm not being super fancy with flicking or anything on this. You can do that if you like. But the way I designed this card, it didn't go that way. I just did it this way, because I wasn't interested in all that blending for this. Now, if I had lines to go by, I might do that. But this honestly looks really good to me. Some flowers do look like this to me. They're not always super blended. Especially the black-eyed Susans. They're not at all. So, yeah, Lydia, you can do that. And I have a new class coming out soon on another type of simple Copic coloring, and that is just so. I love complex Copic coloring, and I can do that, but I really enjoy this kind as well. So here I'm just gonna come in and add another color of Copic. This is RV66. And I'm just swirling it in. It's not going to blend perfectly, but it is going to blend enough. I like to do things like this, especially for people who are intimidated by Copics but love the look of Copics. And I do this because there's not just one way to color with Copic markers. There are many ways to color with Copics. And I really have fun doing this as well. So I love the realistic look that I can get as well with Copics. So if that's a thing you love, you can actually learn to color very realistically with Copic markers. There are classes available for that. But don't let anyone tell you that there's only one proper way to do it with Copics. I mean, art is supposed to be, has a lot to do with the eye of the beholder and all of that, the person doing it. Especially in our industry, we are having fun, and it's mostly a hobby. If it's more than a hobby for you and you want to do things differently, have at it. Have at it. Oh, Adrian, you know what? I do this as more than a hobby. I do so much work with Copics, I wouldn't be a good gauge for you. I refill all the time. Like, I'm constantly refilling my markers. So if you color like as often as a designer like me, I design all the time, just constantly in here coloring. You're gonna need to get refills soon. But you can tell if your marker needs a refill, and this is how. Watch. Take your angled nib, your chisel nib, and scribble. And if you can see the lines, then you need a refill. But this is recently refilled, so I know that this doesn't need one. But you can see that that's a very saturated look, right? Maybe if I grabbed a different one, how about this W6? This W6 may need a refill. Yep. See, you can see it's kind of streaky. I need to refill my W6. So just your chisel nib will tell you. That's how I gauge it anyway. Not that I use my chisel nib for anything other than that, but now here's my RV63, and I'm just going to use that to kind of blend all of those together. And you're going to still see the separation between the RV66 and 99 and 63, but this will help kind of lessen that just a little bit. And still get somewhat of a shade or a gradient going on. Not shade, a gradient going on in here. And as I go around, you'll see me filling in those colors, or the flowers get filled in. And this one probably does need a refill, but I don't have a refill for this one. So I'll do what I can with it. And if I end up at the end where I'm like, I'd rather blend that in a little more, I can get my RV 95 or 93, if there is such a thing. And color it in a little more, blend them in a little more. You could do striations in here as well, like little lines. You could make these flowers as ornate as you like. I went through several panels of this before I decided to say, yeah, that's the one I wanted. This is the design. There we go. Now looking up, I can see some parts that I might want to blend in just a little bit better, but I think for now that's really good. I'm happy with that. Now, putting that on the white helps me see everything a little better for a second. I'm just going to take my W9. This is a W9, believe me. I don't want to change the autofocus, but I'm just going to take my W9 and fill in the little insides of these. Now that's what these black-eyed Susans look like. I just love them. Just follow the little circle on the inside of your die cut. Like that. That little piece of the nib came out. See how easy that is? I'm just dotting it in. You could just dot it if you want, but I don't want to put all that pressure on the tip of my nib. Now, if those little divots come out, it's okay. Some of them are coming out. Do not worry. Some of them are coming out, some of them are not. Thank you, Lydia. Roxy says glossy accents for the eyes. Oh my. We're going to have plenty of bling in here in just a minute. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So there's our finished coloring job. All right. Now I colored it before I stacked it. And there's a reason I did that. Because when you use glue, if you use glue and you want to stack this up, then sometimes I'm liable to get glue on the front of my panel. And before I color, if I get glue on there, it's going to leave a spot where the ink can't get into the paper. So I did my coloring first, and then we're going to add these panels on top of each other. So let's see. I have some adhesive here real quick. Have a Barely Art glue bottle here. And I'm going to just add a bit of glue on every piece here. I think my bottle, I haven't used it in a while, so let's see. Maybe I need to open it up a little more. Right, Denise? It pops against the light background. You can see it a little better. Okay, hopefully that loosened that up and there we go. Now this glue turned orange. In the beginning, it'll be a little orange because I had a pin in there that was not rust proof. And the liquid turned or oxidized that little pin and tainted my glue a little bit orange. And for this project, it doesn't really matter because all of that glue is going to be hidden. All right. And if this keeps clogging for some reason, there it is. That little clog came out. I was going to say I'm going to switch to another glue bottle, but it seems like it is behaving wonderfully now. So just get enough glue on all of the pieces. Aren't these flowers just beautiful? I just love this little color palette too. It's so striking. So striking. There we go. All right, so I just stacked that on top of there. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. Just add glue everywhere I can. I'm going to ask for a do not disturb sign in neon for my studio for Christmas. That's what I'm going to ask for. So my family knows when I go live. Hee hee. Doesn't that sound like a good idea? Now, I didn't do this on the other one. Put that frame down. I think we're okay. Okay. Just put that there. And now we have a nice, thick, sturdy, colored panel to use, to work with. Okay. Get that glue nice and dry there, and I'll wash it off later. Okay, now I'm going to get my panel out. This is acetate. Hero Arts acetate. And just going to take a marker, a black marker, something. Here we go. My W9, that'll work. And just kind of go on the outside of this a little bit, so I know where to cut. Put that against the black there so you kind of see what I'm talking about. And it's okay to get this just a little bit bigger. You don't want it too much bigger, but maybe cut on the outside of your line there. And now I'm going to take my glue, run it along the back of my frame, like this. I don't want to be very generous with the glue here because I don't want it squishing out onto the acetate. But I'm going to put a nice little string there, thin string, and going to pop this window onto the back there. Just right, I think. Just right. Okay, so there we've got our window. And I'm going to leave this white. So let's, for this, what I'm going to do, watch this little trick. This is what I like to do too. To get a nice little amount of glue on the back of a word die, I like to do this. Let's get my tweezers out. Okay, that was noisy. Sorry, guys. I like to just dip it into some glue that I have. You may want to clean finger each time you do it. But that way you're not overdoing your glue on the back, and you're not going to have it squished out on the front of your acetate, right? And that'll stay wet for just a second while you clean up your mess. So I'm just going to spray that a little bit and grab a microfiber cloth, wipe that up, and then come over, and I've got just the perfect amount of adhesive on the back of my die cut sentiment. It still will move just a little bit for me. You make this world better. I'm just going to move it down just a smidge. Just a smidge. There we go. Okay, now we need to flip this over and get a bit of foam tape popped up on the back. So here I'm going to take a nice strip of this. I'm going to fold it in half like this, because you want room for your sequin mix to shake around in there. All right. But you've only got a little bit of real estate here for a foam, for your foam, right? So as I flip that around or doubled it up, I'm just going to take my long scissor and trim off a nice thin strip of this doubled up foam tape. Snip off the end, peel off the adhesive backing so that you can manipulate it around the edge of your frame. See how this is, it has a sharp 90-degree turn there. Just use my tweezers. I've got tweezers on the mind. Tweezers there to keep it down. Then we can do it one more time. we go. Oh my gosh, what are you guys talking about? Now, why did I not think of this? Holly Brown, what are y'all talking about? My glue trick? Thank you, Jessica. I got so busy over here crafting, I forgot to check in on my... I want everything to have a do not disturb sign. Gen X, absolutely. Go Gen X. I'm totally Gen X. Let's start with this one because that one looks a little ratchet. There we go. Tight corner there. There we go. It looks like my acetate is coming out just a little bit, so we may have to repair that, but we'll see after I get it all down. Now look how perfectly that ended up there at the end. Just a beautiful job. Just a beautiful job. Do I have an applause? I'm going to give myself a round of applause there. You know, you got to encourage yourself. Sometimes I hit that applause button just for me, you know? Just for me. There I go. All right. Now, I put mine on the front of this panel like this. You can do that. Or you can do this. Let's see. Which one is better? Which one do you like better? If I do this, then we're not going to see the sentiment very well. But I do love how that makes it stand out a little bit, right? Which one do you think we should do? Should we color in a sentiment? Thanks, Karen. Or should we do what I did in the beginning and do this? I think we'll do this. Dark background. Both are good, but I think the dark background is what we're going to go with. All right, there's so many awesome sequin mixes from Picket Fence. I have never seen this many amazing sequin mixes in my life. But we're going to go with this pink camo. It's new this month. Beautiful, beautiful sequin mix. Look at that. All that pink goodness, pink and brown goodness. And just put in a stingy amount. I don't want to be too generous with them because I don't want it to, it's a really small window and I don't want it to be so full that they don't jiggle around, you know? You need to jiggle. All right, so I'm just going to lay that on top like that. Plus, I'm hoarding my sequins. Y'all. There we go. Love it. Love it. I love it. So fun, right? So fun. All right. Now, this needs card base. I hope you guys have enjoyed your hour with me today. And caballito, we made it in just an hour. Caballito. That means... that means cabal means right or just in. Just exact. Cabal. Caballito is little horse. It's just a little saying when you speak Spanish. When I speak Spanish with my friends, we talk like that. Caballito. Just right, little horse. Christine, if you missed the beginning, my friend, just know that there was a lot of die cutting and fidgeting with getting the die cuts free of all of their little negative pieces. Oh my, Look at that blur. Sorry about that. My camera is going crazy. Let's fix that. There we go. And turn the... There we go. Timed it perfectly, right, Roxy? It's almost 8 o'clock Eastern time. And I'm just going to add our panel to the front of a card base, of course, because you don't want to send just a panel. Okay. Now, if you would like this card sent to you in the mail, just say something now like, oh my goodness, that card is amazing. And Karen, would you do me a favor and pick a winner for me? And I will mail this out. So just say anything now like Daniel is so clever. Or anything that you like. You can say anything positive that you like. And then and we'll just give you a few seconds for that. All right? I'm going to go up through the comments now and try to answer any questions. Oh my, yeah. Sheila says that if those flowers had googly eyes, it could be a great little Shop of Horrors card for Halloween. Right, Gail? It was so fast. Let's see what else we got up here. Oh my gosh, sequins on the card base instead of trying to line it up blind. I feel so dumb. Lydia, have you been putting them inside the window and then trying to top it, put your base on afterward? I did that for a little while, and then it occurred to me, what am I doing this for? Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, thank you. I'm so happy you guys like the card. And Karen is gonna pick a winner now. Would you pick a winner, Karen, or do you want me to? If you want me to, I can. But I will mail this card out to whoever. Lydia says, "Oh my gosh, I am not smart." You're cracking me up. That is so funny. Thank you, Diana. I'm glad you guys like this card. I love the little shaker element to it. It's really fun. It's super easy coloring. I think anyone could do this kind of coloring. And that's why I did it. I think it's so important for people of all abilities to be able to participate in it. Okay, so winners will be announced on October 21st. Okay, so there's another prize as well, right? You can just add that prize to the mix, my friend, if you would, and I'll send it out. I'll send it out to whoever you say. Okay? All right. Thank you guys for spending this hour with me and Karen and Lydia and everybody. And Lydia is my sister, by the way, so you guys know that we just don't have the same parents at all. We just are very much alike. All right. Have a good night and take care, guys. Goodbye.